September the 8th, scents. A large number of plants come to the end of their flowering period in August. Many have already run to seed, with just a few faded flowers now hanging on. Even these may well have been fertilized by insects and are no longer producing any scent. Other species, for example evening primrose and tansy, have been in bloom for some time, but it's only now we notice them more with less flowers around. Evening primroses, an Othera species, only emit their sweet scent at twilight in order to attract moths. Other non-native evening primroses found in gardens can have more complicated scents such as tuberose and lemon. Tansy flowers have among the most powerful of all scents, especially at the moment they're picked. The plant's name comes from an ancient word meaning immortality, referring to the length of time we were able to see its flowers. Although its scent is camphor-like and a little strong for modern tastes, it was popular enough in the past to be used as a food flavouring. It was used for this purpose at the banquet held to celebrate the coronation of James II. The spicy scents of spring and the thick, heady perfumes of summer are now almost over, and more earthy, fetid and medicinal smells are taking over. Many that we notice are not so much from flowers as from bruised leaves. We have either handled, brushed past, or trodden upon, for example, snapdragon, musky, or rest harrow, balsam. Black horehound can be detected from its smell from some distance, especially on warm days. It is also called the fetid horehound on account of its strongly disagreeable scent, which for some is reminiscent of stale perspiration. While celery is so pungent, some people can detect it 50 yards away. Stinkweed, Diplotaxis muralis, is probably the most common yellow crucifer to be seen now across the whole of London. Its bruised leaves smell of bad eggs. Rather more pleasant odours are still to be found, especially among the foliage of mints and calamints. The latter is minty, but with a little camphor, making it pleasantly medicinal. Consequently, it is not surprising it was used to make tea for people who suffered from flatulence. Rather more surprising is that many other people believed the tea would also remain facial marks, including scars. The leaves of such plants, such as galingale, pennyroyal balm, and javanda, all tend to release their agreeable odours as they dry. These tended to be species that were collected at the end of summer in medieval times to be used as strewing herbs later. Roseroot is a rare native plant we only now tend to see in gardens. In this case, it is the root that smells of roses. This was used to make a cheaper substitute for rose water. This water was then sprinkled on clothes to scent them or dabbed on the face, hopefully to improve the complexion. One of the most attractive flowers to be seen this month is the flowering rush, Butamus umbellatus, which has pale carmine flowers, and if you can get near enough to smell them, a soft almond scent. On downland, marjoram is producing a fresh thrush of its scented leaves, even though there are no flowers. The dried leaves of one of its close relations, wild basil, Clinopodium vulgare, with which it often grows, were included in Elizabethan nosegays. Much rarer, but found in similar situations, is the last of the summer orchids, autumn ladies' tresses, Spiranthes autumnalis, which has almond-scented flowers. On heath there is less of interest, except perhaps for the autumn flowering gorse, Ilex gallii, which has a much softer, sweeter scent than its close relation, the much larger common gorse, Ilex europaeus. Mugwort, Artemisia vulgaris, is a large, ugly plant we see a lot of in September, especially on waste ground. Despite its ugliness, it has a pleasantly agreeable, spicy odour. In its close relation, Chinese mugwort, Artemisia velotiorum, which flowers a little later, this smell is stronger, so much so its leaves were used in potpourris. Finally, there are still some really unusual scents to be found among garden flowers. There is clerodendron, which has flowers which smell of jasmine, but leaves that smell of cooked meat. Bruised walnut leaves can give off a surprising smell of balsam. And oddest of all is probably borage. This has completely unscented flowers, but if they are cut, they exude a juice which smells of cucumber.